to do. He did it at Louisville, averaging 29 yards per catch. It just wasn't in a sophisticated passing system. And that's the one part of this that when you add guys from the portal that you have to understand. It's not like we're playing Bill Walsh college football, which is from my era, but I know what we're talking about here, where you plug them into a video game and you just run a play and it works. Well, guys have to practice. They have to get used to playing with their new teammates. It's why I was really amused last year when people were talking about Henry To'oTo'o not being any good and he's not very physical and he's not very – you got to pay attention. He's playing with new teammates even if the system's different. And he hurt his elbow against Miami, so he wasn't completely healthy. But by the second half of the season, he kicked ass every game. And if you didn't think that and you didn't know that, stop watching because you don't know what the hell you're looking at. Okay? So
do you think there'll be an adjustment period then for Gibbs and Harrell and some of these new guys?
I'm just saying there could be. Now, I think Gibbs is going to be.
Gibbs made all preseason the media list,
and he went through spring though. Harrell did not.
Okay.
Jameer should be very comfortable now. I think he's going to hit the ground running because for one thing, he's not surrounded by Mo, Larry, and Curly that he was surrounded by at Georgia Tech. Okay. He was surrounded by a supporting cast that you could play the Three Stooges theme song.
Yeah, Jeff Collins is. When you mentioned hot seat coaches, Jeff Collins at Georgia Tech. That seat probably is about as warm as anybody in the country.
Yeah, he lost so many guys to transfer. I don't know how Georgia Tech is going to be any good. I think you're gonna if you drive by there on a Saturday afternoon.
They might be like Kansas.
Well, it'll be that bad.
And let you in for free.
I think you'll be able. They'll move you on down to the primo seats. But I'm just saying there's been a lot of guys move on from the Georgia Tech program, and Gibbs being the most prominent. He averaged 150 all-purpose yards. But Harrell did not go through spring, and that's what I was trying to say. He didn't go through spring, and so he's going to have a learning curve. But I think J-Mo learned quickly, and so if Tyler Harrell has the same kind of aptitude, I think he can make a big difference. And then one guy that I was just watching practice now, and again, this is very brief what they show you, but the dude that looks smoother and looked like because I'm telling you, in the spring he needed a sack because I saw enough of it. I saw a scrimmage. I'm just telling you, JoJo Earle was struggling with the catches, man, because he did it in A-Day too. He had chances to make big plays. Ball was hitting him in the face. He was just not catching the ball well. He looked smooth yesterday, and if he's now calmed mentally and feels comfortable with what he's doing, he has a lot of talent. And I think he could be the slot receiver. He looked like he and Bryce hopefully are getting their chemistry down. So to me, JoJo Earle, number 10 in your program, has a chance to make that jump too because he's a very talented player from Aledo, Texas. He and Jason McClellan out of the same program, a very good program in that state. And I think JoJo has a chance to potentially be one of those dudes that takes that jump as a sophomore to being a bigger part of the offense.
All right, 256-576-4977. That's the number to get in on the show, on the conversation this morning. We are on as Alabama kicks off, or I should say kicked off, fall camp yesterday with their first practice. They'll be back at it again today. And Alabama, by the way, in case you are wondering, 15 starters back, 51 lettermen, 5 on that offensive side of the ball, and 7 on the defensive side of the ball. So that is why when people are talking about how good this Alabama offense or defense can be, that is probably why we start there, because with 7 starters coming back on that defensive side of the ball, that is why that conversation heats up as how good and where this Alabama defense can rank, because in the past when Alabama has returned those numbers, it has been dominant. Not good, but dominant when the defense hits the field.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, and that's what I've talked about, and I think we said this earlier on Talkin' Ball in the last several days. This defense is experienced on all three levels because of what they brought back.
Yeah.
I mean, they brought back experience on the D-line. They brought back experience in the linebacker core because Henry To'oTo'o, stayed for his senior season, coming back, which I think was a very good move. Remember, Jalen Moody went into the transfer portal, Scott, and then came back. He's a senior. I think he's the favorite to start at the will spot. And then you got Dallas Turner, who, due to injury, got some extensive playing time the second half of last year, so he's a more experienced guy. And then Will Anderson is, quite frankly, the best player in college football, bar none. So you've got all that experience back in the linebacker core, plus Chris Braswell, who is going to be, I think, a rabbit guy, somebody that was really good in the spring, that's kind of waited his turn from St. Francis in Baltimore. That's going to be a really good pass rusher. And then the safety spot, primo experience. Jordan Battle was with us at SEC Media Days. He came back. A lot of people thought, including myself, he might move on to the NFL. DeMarco Helms, who improved dramatically at the second half of last year once he was healthy. And then Malachi Moore, he needs to be healthy. Now, he is, since the end of his freshman year, been banged up and hasn't played as well because he was a magnet for the ball as a freshman. And Brian Branch came into his own after, Malachi was slowed a little bit last year. Branch is going to be the nickel, in my opinion. He has a chance. I'm going to put the onus on him. I think he's the best player. He's got a chance to be the most talented guy in that safety room and in the secondary. And then it comes down to corner. You got three dudes competing at that spot and at those two spots, and then for the slot corner spot. And it's going to be where are they going to fit. Right now, Elijah Ricks been hurt at LSU. He looks like he still needs to add weight at Alabama, and he had some issues going through the spring schematically. So does he know mentally what he's doing? Has he earned the trust of the coaching staff? I think if he does, he and Kool-Aid would be the starters, and Kyrie Jackson will be the slot. But as of now, if you ask me, Drew, what are you expecting against Utah State? I think it'll probably be Kyrie Jackson and Kool-Aid, and then the slot and playing a few less reps would probably be Elijah Ricks until he gets comfortable. That's another thing about the learning curve part. Even though Ricks went through the spring, again, they're doing something totally different than he did at LSU. Okay? And again, the last 2 years at LSU, since Dave Aranda left, has not been good anyway. So he's totally learning a new system and getting comfortable with new teammates, even though coming out of IMG Academy, he was a 5-star talent.
All right, let's get that first break in of the morning. When we come back, more Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
There's the knee, and Alabama has again done the job. Folks, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Alabama is still Alabama.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
At Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, people call the award-winning burgers totally insane, which is a compliment because Bad Daddy's Burgers are just that, chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness built with premium Angus beef. They're bold and they're bad. Pair one with one of their signature cocktails or assortment of local craft brews. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar, 2317 Memorial Parkway. Check out our menu and even order online at BadDaddy'sBurgerBar.com.
This is an Alabama legacy moment.
Born in Fairfield, Alabama, Willie Mays is one of the greatest baseball players to ever play the game. In 22 Major League seasons, mostly with the New York and later San Francisco Giants, Mays had a 302 lifetime batting average and amassed 3,283 hits, 660 home runs, and an untouchable total of 7,095 career putouts from the outfield. Mays was the National League Rookie of the Year in 1951 and played a significant role in the New York Giants World Series victory victory in 1954. The most memorable moment in Mays' career occurred in the first game of that series when he made a running, over-the-shoulder catch at the warning track, popularly known as The Catch. Mays earned 2 MVP awards, was awarded 12 Gold Gloves, made 24 All-Star Game appearances, and was a first-ballot Hall of Fame inductee in 1979. In 2015, President Barack Obama awarded Mays a Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Sponsored by the Alabama Bicentennial Commission, the ABA, and this station.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the burger of your dreams. It's on the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. A lineup of 5 premium burgers like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger with 100% seasoned real beef patties, melty cheese, and a combo of top-notch toppings and sauces galore. This dream burger is calling your name. But it isn't a dream. You're ordering at the DQ drive-thru. Hello. The DQ Signature Stack Burgers lineup. Try it today. DQ. Happy tastes good.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com. Coming up next, it's the Tom Abraham Show with me, Tom Abraham. Now back to more Talking Ball with Scott and Drew.
Yeah, indeed. Welcome back. It is Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And don't forget, coming up tonight at Cross Point Church, our good friends over at Cross Point Church are hosting the Major League Eating Championships. They're hosting the Banana Pudding World Champion. I'm going to call it the World Championships for
Trying
banana
to set
pudding.
a record.
Yeah, so that is going on tonight at Cross Point Church. So get on out there if you want to.
One of the reasons Scott's having a nice banana this morning.
You know what? It is coincidental that I had a banana.
Setting the tone.
They're hosting the World Banana Pudding Eating Championships. The event's going to take place at 6:45 tonight at Cross Point Church. So you hear Pastor D's on our air all the time.
Pastor John D's, great friend of the 97.7 The Zone.
His church, but all kinds of good stuff going to be going on out there. So the World Banana Pudding Eating Championships going on tonight. All right, let's get out there. 256-576-4977. That's the number of the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. You can join the program, just like Pat from Tuscaloosa is doing now. Good morning, Pat.
Good morning, fellas. Hey, what is the world record on how many gallons of, or how many pints of banana pudding they got to eat?
We don't know. They're going to set it today.
Oh, okay.
I think according to, they have a league, a competitive eating league. I'm not sure that they've ever had one. I think this may be the first banana pudding eating contest they've had. So they're going to try to set a new world record tonight, Pat, at 6:45 at Cross Point Church.
Okay, that sounds good. Hey, you can't invent this stuff that's happening down at Auburn, Scott. I mean, Drew. Hey, that pulled over on a moped. He's not capable of driving a big green tractor. Come on.
That's TJ Finley. That's not ideal when you're trying to compete for the starting quarterback's job, and you make headlines yesterday that you get arrested for eluding police on a moped, and then they even have video evidence of it where he's, it looks like something out of Smokey and the Bandit where he's going up and around cars and things of that nature. So, we've made it known that from the people that we talked to, Pat, that we believe Zach Calzada is going to win the job. And it'll be interesting to see if TJ Finley stays at Auburn at that point or if he ends up eventually at maybe Louisiana Monroe playing for our good friend Terry Bowden. But It'd be his third school. But, again, he's had limited success at LSU and Auburn. Calzada has had more playing time last year at Texas A&M. And, really, we all know if it hadn't been, for Haynes King getting hurt, he wouldn't have played, but he did. And so I think, Calzada is I think fits the offense that Brian Harsin and Eric Kiesau are wanting to put together a little better. But you still would like to see the guy stay out of trouble and give himself the best shot to win the job. It just wasn't ideal to have that off-the-field situation happen.
Yeah, his lawyer came out, and he is – TJ Finley – he, as far as bond goes, he was released.
Yeah,
he was able to sign his own bond. It was all a misdemeanor, and he's going to be issued misdemeanor fines.
Yes.
I mean, stuff like that. So, but the thing
probably
is,
his Amazon NIL take care of that.
Right. And he's
not going to help sales though.
There's a lot of college football players that do drive those little mopeds, those little scooters.
Yeah, to get around. Yeah,
around.
It's cheaper.
Around camp. Oh heck yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll admit that.
A Vespa.
Especially when you got a moronic, administration, it's making you pay. Well,
I told my wife though I would drive a Vespa to work if I could get one.
Well, you even talked about driving a scooter to work. But think about it. When you're celebrating, when you see gas for $3.77, that just shows you where you are. That the country's being run by idiots.
Yeah. Hey, what I called about this morning, what do you know about Jalen Hale out of Longview, Texas, a 6'2" wide receiver?
He's a 5-star, Pat. I mean, he was on campus for the cookout. He's, I think Texas is probably Alabama's biggest competition there. He's a really talented kid. I mean, he's every visit where he's gone, he's basically almost fallen in love with the school. So Alabama needs to get him back on campus. But, despite the fact that Texas A&M's been paying, big bucks and paid one kid $800,000 to be their number one receiver in Evan Stewart, and then then Texas has got Xavier Worthy, who's had a really fine freshman year. Alabama's done a better job of developing players at the position. So Sark's second year is going to be big as far as how much better they can get. And, of course, they got Arch Manning, which I think turned Hale's head. But Alabama's been, much more consistent. And I think if they can get him back on campus later in the process, they'll have a chance to get Hale, because I think Alabama, Pat, wants one more wide receiver. They've got two talented guys, Malik Benson, the junior college player from Hutchinson, Kansas, and we had his coach Drew Dallas on the show. And then also they got Cole Adams. We had his head coach on, but I think they signed a really a 5-man receiver class last year. So they're only probably going to take 3, and he and another young man out of Gainesville, Florida, are probably the 2 that they're zeroing in on. But I would say if they feel like as the regular season starts and they continue to recruit, that they're going to be selective. I think Hale is a guy that they're going to lock in on and they think has a chance to be a special player.
Yes, and I was reading an article yesterday morning that kind of vindicates you and I, saying that this class could or will surpass, not could, but will surpass Dirtbag's class last year. And I'm just getting real excited. But they were saying that the article yesterday was saying that with Peter Woods flipping back to Alabama, that it would surpass it by about like nearly 5 or 6 points. But that even without him flipping, that it would still beat Dirtbag's class.
Well, we want to make sure that we say Dirt Neck.
Yeah.
Oh, Dirt Neck. Okay.
Yeah, we want to go Dirt Neck there.
I don't really care what you say, Pat. I mean, that I do think he's a dirt bag, but I mean, I understand where Scott's going with it. We want to go with the consistent nickname.
PG at
we want
the best we can.
Yeah, we that's the Drew and Ari came up with Dirt Neck, so that's what we're going to stick with.
when I get on the radio down here, I will remember that.
Well, we're going to have Ryan Fowler on in a few minutes, Pat. And, I mean, he did say that it's caught on like wildfire in Tuscaloosa. He's pretty much become dirt neck. I've seen it on TiderInsider.com quite a bit. So, but, again, the young man I was talking about out of Gainesville, Florida is Jaron Hamilton. He's only rated a 3-star, but he camped very well. And so, those two guys, Jalen Hale and Jaron Hamilton, are probably a couple of kids to watch as to who could be the third wide receiver, because they very well, if they have the kind of years that they're anticipating from Jermaine Burton and Tyler Harrell, those cats are probably going to move on to the NFL.
Okay. Hey, but you can coin the phrase Texas ATM, and we really need to make shirts for the Texas game, because I think we could sell. I really think we could sell 50,000 of them and have a really, really nice charity that and I would be happy to go in with you on that deal.
So you're talking about my Drew and Nary NIL money.
Yes.
I could sell dirt neck. If we can get a sponsor to make dirt neck shirts, I will try to sell them.
We could easily do that and donate. We would donate all the proceeds. To a charity.
There's no question that I would try to sell them.
All right, there we go. Thanks for the call, Pat. Let's go back out onto the phone lines. Richard with us this morning.
Richard, would you buy a dirt neck shirt? Yes or no?
Or an ATM shirt.
This number is advertised on TV at 1-800. I was just calling to place my order.
We got something. We need to find a T-shirt that's willing to do a T-shirt place that's willing to do some trade work, because we can work out a trade for some T-shirts
and sell them for $5 a piece.
Yes, and we'll make
you would have dirt neck on the front, and maybe Texas ATM on the back, or the other way around. And
well, I would probably try to find a picture of one of those red X's where
we
they,
could even
from the
branch
Price
out,
is Right.
Though. We could branch out though. We could have the dirt neck, and we could have, we could just say dirt neck on the front. We could have one that just says ATM. We could have one that says suck eyes.
Yeah.
We could have, we could make a bunch of them for we could make Drew and Harry shirts.
You could have a few quotes from Dirt Neck where he's lying about he didn't know what the, they had to have a talk with the guy that was offering money to the recruit that he didn't know he was doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. We could do that.
Scott, yesterday you were talking about the transfer committee. Who is on the committee? Any idea?
Who's on that NCAA committee?
I think Sankey is on it.
Oh,
at least from what I understand, Richard.
That's the NCAA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just wondering. They did table everything, but and I think Saban even made a comment about all these the transfer portal and all that screwed up his vacation, and that's what I mean. Nick makes more than the three of us will ever make all, added together. But, these guys, it's, everybody needs a vacation. Just like you said, UNA is going, Division I, but it's, it's even causing the UNA coaches, to not be able to, have some time off, unless they can limit, you got too much to transfer, and then there's a penalty after that. I mean, you got to have it where it, it stops sometime.
Yeah,
agreed. I mean, you do.
And there's a penalty. But like I said, Nick makes a lot more than we do, but not all these coaches, do. But basically, used to have, once, you kind of got into the first few weeks of June or early July, these guys could get a few weeks off in there. But now these guys, the NCAA is still, allowing transfers out. What was it? The guy that played Rocket Watt.
Yes, he's on his third school. Isn't he at Oakland, Michigan now?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, the guy's already transferred twice. It's one time. There is, you basically say you have to sit out, Rocket. Sorry.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't think you should have unfiltered free agency almost, where the guys every year they're moving on to a new school because they don't produce as they anticipated at the school that they originally chose, and then when they transfer.
Yeah, and that was the thing that I don't think a lot of people understand is that there was great feeling that the NCAA board of directors, or whatever they want to call themselves, were going to put that into effect at this last meeting. Now, they tabled it, I think, until the next meeting, which is, I forget when. But what they want to do is do away with the transfer portal and just you have unlimited transfers. You do away with the one-time transfer rule, and you can transfer as many times as you want.
One thing, too, is, and I mean, I don't know if you ever have any administrators from college call in, but, I mean, transferring, in Alabama, if you're going to UAH to Alabama or UAB to Alabama or the other way, everything transfers. But even going, say, Jacksonville State to Alabama, they may not accept it, especially if you go out of state. And these guys, I saw something, if they transfer 4 times, they're going to probably be a freshman by the time they lose, credits because, transferring.
Yeah.
Between,
you're talking about the academic part. Yeah.
You'll never graduate, if you transfer 4 times.
Well, and Nate Oates even kind of made us aware of a situation with Nick Pringle because he was at Wofford, and then he transferred to a junior college, but then he was late getting to Alabama because he had one more class he had to pass to be eligible.
Yeah, and like I said, it's just if they're worried about these guys graduating, and I think that's why they held it up. I think and they said the coaches started complaining. And then even some of the administrators were going, these guys will never graduate.
Right. Yeah. I mean, to me, here's the deal. You ought to have a one-time transfer during your 5-year window. And then the only time you can transfer again is if you graduate from another school.
Yeah.
And then if you have a year of eligibility left, then you can bail out and try to go somewhere else. But if you don't graduate, you can't just keep doing this musical chairs crap that, our president would probably support.
What about all the people, though, that firmly believe that if a head coach is able to leave within those 5 years, then the player should have the ability
whatever.
to leave?
I mean, I'm tired of hearing that.
That's the narrative that
I
you
know.
hear
I
the
know
most.
It's the narrative. I know. But,
Well,
it happens.
You could still sit out a year.
That's where it should be. Richard got it exactly right. If your head coach leaves, then you can transfer, but you got to sit out, not just be immediately eligible.
Well, if you haven't transferred before, you still get the free
and you can have the one your one move. If your head coach leaves, you want to follow him somewhere, you can do that. Ole Miss had a guy running back do it and go to Miami probably for
a little bit of money,
a little bit of Ruiz.
Bit of
Remember, they're the Miami Ruiz Hurricanes. That's the new thing too. The Ruiz Hurricanes.
That's what you come up with.
You could have sold that last year. We played Miami last year, so we won't be able to sell that.
Yeah, and beat the ever-loving hell out of the Ruiz Hurricanes by 30 points.
The Ruiz can't.
And then they turn around and beat the Auburn Tigers, probably Auburn's best regular season team ever, and beat Auburn by 30 to send them home in the NCAA tournament. That's basketball.
Question. Where is Doug Marrone nowadays?
He's an assistant offensive line coach with the New Orleans Saints, back where he belongs in the pros. Doesn't need to even ever breathe on a college campus again.
Yeah, I don't know if Nick said much nice about him last year, or even the comments he's making now. It's kind of good riddance. But I guess he came in with O'Brien, didn't he? More so.
He did. They were kind of a package deal. But again, Doug at one time was a good college coach, but he's been in the NFL so long that he's got the pro mentality, which is there's not a whole lot of, it's just plug and play guys and a tweak of technique here or there. You got to be ready to roll. And it's just there's not a whole lot of developing going on. And I don't think the players bought into his style of coaching, and I just don't think it was a fit. It's happened before, and Nick Saban just had to make a change, and that's what he did because, again, that's just one of those things that and that's what I love about Coach Saban. He's not perfect, but if they make a mistake, he tries to rectify it as quickly as he can.
See what I'm going home and I'll give you guys my credit card number for my shirt here.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna work on that. Thanks for the call, Richard.
Thank you, Richard. Good,
we're gonna work on that. That would be very good to do.
Hey, I could always use some extra cash, man.
No, we gotta donate
and make an
it to
NIL
charity.
deal.
We got to donate it to charity.
I mean, come on. I'm only asking $5. I'm not even going to ask 10.
But we could do it all for charity and make it for a good cause.
I mean, we could. I mean, or we could ask 10 and I keep 5, and then we put $5 to the charity. Because I'm sorry, I came up with the term dirt neck. That's mine. I came up with that. Me.
Taking it away from you.
No, I came up with it. Me. This is one time I'm going to stand up for this. I came up with this. I did. I called him Dirt Neck first.
I'm not taking that away.
I mean,
All right, let's get a break in. When we come back, we will wrap up hour 1.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Wrapping things up with several accidents. County Line and Madison Boulevard's probably our newest one. North and southbound blockage there with an injury. Jordan and Sparkman had an injury. County Line and Browns Ferry was working. 565 eastbound at County Line also may still be trying to clear. Snelling has immediate need for a staff accountant. This is direct hire downtown Huntsville. Snelling, how Huntsville's best companies hire talent. Captain Nick in the 72 and Jeff Popeye Skywatch Traffic Center.
Back to school shopping on a budget? Then Kohl's is the place to go. With the extra 20% off, I got my kids activewear for under $9 and jeans for $14.39. Plus, I found 2 for $20 character tees and got $10 off as a Kohl's Rewards member. More style and more savings? Check and check. Select styles, 20% offer ends August 14th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohls.com for details.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hey everyone, let's all stop what we're doing and take a moment. You see? Every moment can be kind of special. But they can be loud moments, goofy moments, dorky moments, it doesn't matter. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of the Stanton Law Firm. Stan, I guess you are the Stanton in the law firm.
Yes, Wes, that's me, and we started the Stanton Law Firm so that myself and 4 other attorneys with me can help clients litigate, negotiate, and creatively solve legal and real estate problems.
Now, Stan, you grew up on a family farm in this area and have made a name closing on houses and land with your closing company, Jacob Title.
I grew up on a farm which used to be in the country. That, plus having closed on so many homes and farms, one of my colleagues started referring to me as a classic dirt lawyer. Now, I didn't know how to take that at first, that tag, but I realized that's exactly what I do and what I am.
Stan, I know the attorneys at Stanton Law Firm are regular listeners, and we plan to have you on periodically. You and I have seen have impacted this community.
Stay tuned, and you may hear about friends like Steve Booker, Clarence Johnson, Thomas Boyd, and even a few of those offensive line hogs like Hoss Johnson, and maybe you remember some other of those guys too.
I remember Clarence Johnson. He beat us one year. He was unbelievable.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
From the Alabama Crimson Tide to the Atlanta Braves, we are 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Tyson, DeArmond with you until 9 a.m. It is a good time all around the college football world. The Auburn Tigers are set to hit the practice field today for the very first time. Yesterday, their head coach, Brian Harsin, visiting with the media.
I was telling my wife last night, because we're talking about, here's another season that we have a chance to be a part of, and, just where this team is at and what they've been through and the things that we've done to get to where we are right now. I'm excited about this squad. We got a lot of work to do, a lot of things to prove. Most spots are open for competition. Our guys know that, and they're going to go out there and compete, but they're also going to help each other out. They're going to bring value to whatever their role is. They're going to bring value to the teammates and the coaches, and then we'll go out there and make the decision of who the starters are going to be, but everybody on this team is going to help us win. And that's a message I want to make sure they understand. Everybody on this team, you may not think so, other people may not think so. The guy waving the towel on the sideline, they don't know that he was the scout team linebacker that week, all right, playing whoever against a really good defense that we're probably going to face. They're really important to our success, and they matter. All right, and all these guys, and I say this too, all these guys going through this for 3, 4, 5 years, there's a reason why when they leave here they're going to be successful. They're not afraid to grind, they know how to work, and they can push themselves. So through the game of football, we're developing a lot more than just wins on the football field. We want that, we'll get that. I know this team's capable of it, but that's what camp is all about. So we're going to talk about those things tonight. We're going to recognize some guys' accomplishments through the summer. Academically, guys finished up.
A little bit there from Brian Harsin. Tigers getting ready to hit that practice field today.
Yep, they're going to open fall camp. We heard from Eric Kiesau as well and Jeff Smeding, the offensive and defensive coordinators. It was media day at Auburn yesterday. Coach Harsin spoke for about 24, 25 minutes and, hit on some things, just the offensive line, linebacker, because, they've got to have some guys step up because Jacoby McClain moved on to the NFL and had such a great final season at Auburn last year. Owen Papo back healthy, but he missed a lot of time last year due to being banged up, but he's going to be back now, and so should be very productive for Auburn, but need guys like Cam Riley around him, Wesley Steiner, to step up and play and be productive. So, and then Leota and Derek Hall are going to be counted on at the edge spots to really rush the passer well and give them ability to be disruptive and create turnovers and negative plays. So and then in the secondary too, because Smoke Monday is gone. They lost some guy, and we interviewed him at SEC Media Days. Roger McCreary was probably their best player. Back there, he went early in the second round to the Tennessee Titans, and they're having to replace him as well. So, guys like Nehemiah Pritchett are going to be on the clock to and to really step up and be productive. And Auburn was aggressive in the portal, bringing in some guys in the secondary to potentially play bigger roles for them. And so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be with the defensive coordinator change, Derek Mason going off to the Big 12 in Oklahoma State, and then Schmedding, who was the DC at Boise State for Harsin, taking over, somebody that Harson's very comfortable with, and see what kind of impact this has and how good this Auburn defense is.
Here is Harsin on that wide receiver room.
Yeah.
That group, because we have 3-4 of them out there at a time, they got to be consistent. We got to catch the balls that are thrown to us, right? We got the ones we have a chance to. We got to be in the right position. We got to know the motions and shifts and all the different things that we're asking them to do. Personnel groups, communication, tempos, all that. And if those guys can handle those things, I mean, the interior guys, we can manage that. We can get the perimeter handled, and those guys can do it day after day. I mean, just the flow of how we operate is going to make us better. That's the consistency piece I'm talking about.
Yeah, if you watched Auburn last year, the one thing, well, not the one thing, one of the things that slowed them down from progressing the way that they wanted to was the fact that the wide receivers dropped a lot of passes that Bo Nix put on the money.
Yeah, I mean, that was an issue, no doubt. Executing and doing your job. Javarius Johnson needs to be more consistent, has a lot of explosive ability out of Hewitt-Trussville. They brought in the portal Dazlin Worsham and Coy Moore. Worsham from Miami, Coy Moore from LSU. Are those guys going to be able to make an impact and just give them more production out of the room? Or a guy, I think he was also asked about Tarvis Dawson. He's a guy that was a lot of speed out of the state of Florida, but learning how to play and be a collegiate receiver, and that you have to be consistent, game in and game out, practice in, practice out, things of that nature, and learning how to prepare and be a college player. And so they just need more production out of that room. I think, they were a little bit, disturbed, I guess is the best way to put it, that I think they didn't see a lot of development out of there. And that's the first coaching change during the middle of the season that you saw, where Harsin pulled the trigger and Cornelius Williams was dismissed as the wide receivers coach. And now they've brought in Ike Hilliard, who all-time great at Florida, one of the best under Coach Spurrier, played a while in the NFL, and then has been coaching in the NFL. And, I was able to ask Coach Harsin about Ike, at SEC Media Days, and he's really excited about what he's brought to the room and how he's connected with the players.
All right, we are just about done with hour number one here of Talking Ball on a Friday morning. 256-576-4977. That can get you in line for hour two of the show. A lot of good stuff left to come here on for the Friday edition, I should say, of Talking Ball. When we come back, we're going to have our very first guest of the morning. Ryan Fowler is going to join the show as we kind of allude or kind of go back and step back in there and revisit what Nick Saban had to say from yesterday's opening practice. Folks, the start of the college football season just around the corner. Ryan Fowler will walk through the door when we return.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, here letting you know we are proud supporters of Madison Academy football. Stop into the University Kia today and shop our large selection of new Kias, including the all-new Telluride 8-passenger SUV, the stylish new K5, and sporty new Seltos. Visit universitykia.com to view all our great offers and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia today, because we want to see you in a Kia. Go Mustangs!
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The Trash Pandas are back and better than ever. Single game tickets for the 2022 Trash Pandas season are on sale now. This season's promotions include all new giveaway items, specialty jerseys, holiday games, and fireworks all season long. Reserve your seat now while you still can at TrashPandasBaseball.com.
Let's rock it. From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Emily Owen. For this Friday, expect a partly cloudy sky. High temperatures topping out in the lower 90s for the afternoon. Isolated showers and thunderstorms also possible in the afternoon as well. For your Friday night, a few isolated showers before midnight, a partly cloudy sky. Low temperatures expected to fall into the mid-70s. I'm meteorologist Emily Owen on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The highly anticipated 5-round light heavyweight bout between Thiago Santos and Jamal Hill tomorrow night at the UFC Apex in Vegas. Hill, the -275 favorite, Santos at +215. UFC 278 set for August 20th in Salt Lake City. Welterweight champion Kamaru Usman, a -315 favorite over Leon Edwards at +265. NFL preseason now officially underway. The Falcons at the Lions a week from today. The Saints at the Texans. New Orleans a 5.5-point favorite over Atlanta in the season opener at Mercedes-Benz Stadium September 11th. Red Hot winning picks at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. Save 75% on any best bet package with the promo code ACTION75. That's ACTION75 at experts.winnersandwhiners.com. I'm Trey Westerberg, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. Welcome to Talkin' Ball with Scott Theisen and Drew DeArmond. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Scott and Drew.
It is hour 2, Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Scott Theisen, Drew DeArmond with you for another hour here on a Friday morning. Welcome in. Safe travels into work, into school, wherever you may be headed. It is 8 o'clock. We know all of those school zones, some of those school zones still active right now. So as you're making your way around the Tennessee Valley, please just take it safe if you are indeed headed that way. We kicked off hour 1 by listening to a little bit of Nick Saban, kind of recapping day 1 of football practice for Alabama. I don't know how much you can dissect or really read into day 1 of practice, but we're going to try our best.
No doubt, and our next guest is, of course, that's going to be a huge topic of conversation from today from 2 to 6 on the game. And, of course, the game, the longest-running radio show in the City of Champions in Tuscaloosa on Tide 109. And we caught up with this gentleman last week, or a couple weeks ago, I should say. It's already been a couple weeks, wow, in Atlanta, Georgia for the SEC Media Days. And now we're going to talk Nick Saban, year 16, and fall camp underway. And Ryan Fowler's going to talk some Alabama football with us for a few minutes right now. Ryan, what's up? You're back in Huntsville in North Alabama, your home stomping grounds here with Drew and Scott. How are you?
Hey, good. Sorry I answered the phone late a couple seconds ago. I was on the phone with a Lee County Detention Center, so I apologize. My bad.
Well, we'll ask you. This has been a topic in the first hour. We were broaching the possibility of selling Dirt Neck T-shirts and with ATM on the back of them. First of all, would your listeners buy them, and would you be one to purchase one? Maybe with we were trying to come up with a price. I said $5, and then Scott was talking about charity, so I was talking about maybe $10, $5 to charity, and $5 for my pocket, since I came up with the term.
I was trying to do something good and be like, we could make these T-shirts and give them to charity. And Drew was like, no, I got to have my cut.
I mean, I came up with it.
I'm like, it's for charity.
Well, I mean, but everybody's got to make a living. I mean, even, many of these nonprofit organizations, there's an administration cost when you donate to people. So, that's always a possibility. I mean, when you charge $20 or you give $20, probably $5-10 goes. There's a lot of nonprofits that don't do that, but then there's a lot of nonprofits that do. When you talk about making a little cash, so Drew's just trying to make a living. I mean, like everybody else. So it's that is very, very fair. So Dirt Neck, he's got. Listen, I told you guys this. He's got the audience down here. I mean, they don't even call him Kirby Smart anymore. I mean, it is so funny. The callers call in, they'll say Kirby Freeze, Smart. And now he's got him calling Dirt Neck out there. And the problem that I'm so afraid of is I'm going to slip up, when I've got like Olin Buchanan or, I don't know, Dennis Dodd or Brett McMurphy on, and I go, well, what do y'all think about Dirt Neck out at who?
Yeah. We had Olin on in Atlanta. We didn't slip up, luckily.
I would buy a shirt. I would make that donation, and like I said, I'd love to know the definition. That's what I mean. If I could ever find out the definition, I mean, so is this someone too poor to be a redneck? Is that what that is?
I think I call him that because I think he's a lying scumbag. But that's just
okay. Well, that's
my
fair.
take.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
But hey, I noticed you guys you just skipped over TJ Finley. Y'all didn't want to ask me my analysis.
Well, I mean, yeah. Do you ride mopeds? Scott was kind of thinking about getting one to save money.
Well, I mean, let me say this: the winds down on the plains are going to be few and far between. I think TJ Finley should count that as a win. I mean, if he was able to get away, that might get him to the Birmingham Bowl. I mean, that win right there, because he's not going to have many this year, right?
I mean,
so because he was able to escape.
Well,
they didn't get it.
Well, I'll bring. It reminded me of something straight out of a movie that from the 1980s and from our childhood, Ryan, that you may remember, Cannonball Run.
I do, yes, sir, absolutely.
When you could drive anything, or to race. I mean, it didn't really matter what you drove. It was just you're trying to win the money and win the race, and that's kind of what it reminded me when I was watching that film of T.J. Finley running from the law.
But now, let me ask you a question: Was he running for the law because he had something like on him illegally, or was he running just to say that he was running from the law? Or
I don't know. That's a great question. I mean, I don't know if he was. I know this. I think it cemented Zach Calzada as the starter if he wasn't the favorite already, which many people believe.
Yeah, but in some ways, and I know you guys talk to Texas A&M people, and I know we're not here to talk about Auburn, but it's a huge conversation here locally the off season, and I've said this multiple times. I felt sorry for the way that Brian Harsin was treated down in Lee County. I thought it was just it was a low blow, and in some ways you kind of want the guy to have success. just with everything. But everybody that we talked to out at Texas A&M, that if you're banking on Calzada, and I know the change of scenery may help him, but he literally played one game, and that was against Alabama. Everything else was just very inconsistent. And we've seen those quarterbacks consistently inconsistent. So it seems like that's the phrase. Now, it may be totally different with a change of scenery, but no doubt it's got the talent. But the Texas A&M people that we spoke to over the panel was just like very, very inconsistent. And that's in practice, in the game. So I know Auburn kind of puts their, all their eggs in one basket and say, hey, well, he beat Alabama. He took down the Crimson Tide, and he did. But that's not saying that he'll be able to continue that success, and we'll find out because, the Mercer game is going to be a gigantic one, and I think it's going to be a whiteout. So that's going to be a big game down in Lee County.
Nick Saban, post-practice yesterday, got a chance to see Alabama for the first time yesterday, practice-wise, video-wise, because you weren't able to see it in person. But your thoughts on what you heard from Nick yesterday, post-practice number 1?
Well, I'll tell you, man, I've never spent so much time looking at a 5-minute video clip my entire life. But, I went through that thing just like I cut it up like 1 o'clock last night. I don't know what I was doing up. I have no clue. I guess I just couldn't sleep. But went through the video clips and tried to spend some time looking at, the defensive backs, quarterbacks. The wide receivers was in there, running backs. It was fun just to be able to see some football. Do you guys feel this way too? That it's just been a long off season. That it's been for Alabama fans. What is it? 200 and something days since the last time they were on that football field. And look at the off season, the way that it's been this year. The busyness. It felt good just to be able to watch Nick Saban's press conference, but then to get that 5-minute video clip and to overanalyze it. And, this team looks very dialed in. I thought what Nick Saban said about the offensive line yesterday was the knockout of the park. He pretty much laid everything out that went wrong. And, Doug Marrone, I wouldn't put that audio clip in a resume if I was trying to get a job.
Yeah, we discussed that. He just wasn't a fit for the college game. He didn't connect with the players. And unfortunately, if you paid attention and had the right kind of sources, you kind of started hearing that at the beginning of last year, that it just was a little bit of a disconnect. And they got caught in a talent vacuum because Chris Owens, gave effort, but he just wasn't, a pro. He wasn't a guy that you're used to seeing of the caliber of player on the offensive tackle spot at Alabama. And unfortunately, the guy that should be the right tackle this year, J.C. Latham, wasn't ready as a true freshman.
No, and that's. But how much of that? You almost give these guys mulligans a little bit, and if you listen to Nick Saban, and I know you guys have played that audio, but right there at the end, what does he say? He says, well, I'm kind of encouraged by that. He's talking about all the changes that they made on the offensive side of the football. Guys, is it possible that one guy can make a complete turnaround on that offensive line? Because there's talent at that position, and there's a lot of it. Can one guy come in and in just a few practices in the spring, and, they do get time in the off season. I think they get up to 5 hours a week, maybe it's 4, but just because practice started, they're able to implement a lot of the things, off the field in the video side of things and correct some of those mistakes. Can one guy make that sort of miraculous turnaround from an offensive line that ranked 121st in the country in protecting Bryce Young and make a complete flip and maybe improve to be a B+ or A- type offensive line? Can that really be possible?
Well, I think so. Look, if you remember, the only year Alabama didn't make the college football playoff was 2019, Ryan, and the offensive line wasn't considered dominant that year. But when they came back in 20, it may have been the best, even better than the 2012 group, and I think it was. I mean, they had freakazoids everywhere because Landon Dickerson was much more comfortable at the center spot and became an All-American. I still think he's the best transfer of the Nick Saban era, and that's saying a lot. But with basically Kim coming over from Florida State, and then you had I know he ended up being a great left tackle last year, but you had Evan Neal at right tackle. I mean, you just had freakazoids everywhere on that offensive line, and every position was a guy that I think is going to play a long time in the NFL. They got it, and they were able to run the football at will in the red zone. Of course, Najee was a great back too, but if you remember last year, there was a lot of conversation about Bill O'Brien and not being a good fit at OC, which I disagreed with. He didn't run the ball a lot in the red zone because they couldn't get the movement at the point of attack, and I think that's the thing Nick Saban, that's what I took from it yesterday. He wants the O-line from the jump to set the tone and be able, even against this defense that might be the best in college football, they've got to be able to run the ball in the red zone.
Yeah. Well, and that's the part that when you look at Bryce Young and you think about everything that what he showed us last year is impressive. It's incredible when you think about that offensive line. What he was able to do with that offensive line, and if that offensive line can keep him upright, and these wide receivers, the youngsters, are able to step in and fill their role, this is going to be pretty top notch. But Drew, I just got a report that Tex Ag's radio show out in College Station are talking about me. So
yeah,
I mean, look at what you've done, Drew. I mean, you got me into this Texas A&M stuff. I mean, don't you feel guilty?
No, not really, because I didn't lie. The dude cut me off and lied straight to me. I mean, what I'm saying?
I just got a message. I went on out there and said, I made a comment, and they didn't like it. I said, I know money buys a lot of things, but not everybody grows up wanting to be an Aggie.
Right.
They
didn't all grow up wanting to be a rebel either, and they're still recovering from that.
Well, no, but anyway, go back to Alabama. I just thought it was kind of funny that you and I were just, and Scott was just talking about Dirt Neck out at Texas A&M, and I guess maybe maybe they're listening out in College Station. Hello, College Station. Hey, by the way, yesterday was their day, 8-4, right?
Yes.
8-4?
Yes,
Yeah,
Courtney McKinney. I give her all the credit. That was the first tweet I saw when she said "Happy 8-4 day."
Is that not something? I mean, it's really true. If you look at 2012, when coming into the league, that they've not reached anything but 8. They've had a couple of 9-win seasons, but
that's what
not a lot of success.
We asked the question yesterday, Ryan, and we put Texas A&M, LSU, we put Ole Miss and Arkansas. We put those 4 teams and Auburn. We put 5 teams in there. Alabama, they're picked to win the West, expected to win the West, double-digit wins. We expect that as well. But somebody in the West potentially can win 10 games. Of those 5, is there anyone in those 5 that could potentially win 10 games?
See, I just don't think it's Texas A&M.
Nah.
Because
So that means like LSU or an Arkansas or some. I mean that's what we were trying to figure out.
Let me throw it out. Let me just throw it out. Just see what you think. Okay. Is there any chance that Lane Kiffin would? Because see, the problem is I know you lose a lot, but the transfer portal, you can clean up a roster of weaknesses pretty quick. And is there any way that Lane Kiffin can go back-to-back in double-digit wins for the Rebels? I mean, is there any way that's possible? Because, I mean, listen, guys, he's one of the best I've ever seen as far as maximizing the strengths of a player and minimizing their weaknesses and disguising those with his play calling ability. Could he possibly do it at Ole Miss? Back-to-back seasons? I mean, I would bank on him more than right now the others.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe he can't. I've got him going 8-4 now. David Johnson joined us yesterday from Rebels 247 Inside the Rebels, and he thinks their ceiling is 10-2. That if the quarterback position performs, and it seems to be Luke Altmaier's the favorite, that if Lane can get productive quarterback play and these pieces fit together because he's the portal king, that they can do this again. If so, then I don't think Lane's going to be long for Oxford.
Well, and that's the point. Somebody's going to, especially right now with the lack of college coaches out there that are, quality. And I often said, and I know I take shots at Auburn quite a bit. I mean, sometimes they kind of write themselves. But if they could have found a way to get Lane Kiffin to Auburn, that would have been a thorn in Nick Saban like you've never seen it. In the state, the jabs, the little comments, it would have been a great hire. But now the problem is, and whatever happens with Brian Harsin, if he wins enough games that he looks for another job and decides to go somewhere else, or if Auburn has to move on and they have to fire Brian Harsin because the win total is just not there. The problem is they're not able to recruit a quality coach without a fully guaranteed contract. I mean, could you imagine the next guy that comes in? It'll be a 10-year, $7 million a year fully guaranteed contract because of the trends of that athletic department, the way that, coaches have not been fired. So I thought they had a shot at Lane Kiffin. And if they would have got him, it would have been an A-plus hire across the state. As it is, they went to Boise State, and as one of our callers down here calls him the Boise Bandit. But anyway, but Lane Kiffin would be. I'll select and just go out on a wild card. I'm going to use that this afternoon. Who would get to 10 wins? Because that's a really, really good question. Because there may not be any.
Yeah, that's the thing. They beat each other up. Does
yeah,
nobody
Matt Moscona told us they cannibalize each other.
Yeah, does nobody outside of Alabama get to 10 wins? Now, Matt Moscona said LSU could get there, but it would be a bowl
9-3.
game.
Yeah, 10,
a bowl game would get him to 10. But, I mean, I'm talking a 10-win regular season. Does anybody outside of Alabama in the West get to that mark?
And I would say this. I would say no. But if you force me, I'd say Ole Miss, and just taking a wild gamble, because really I think it's more likely that there'll be nobody outside of Alabama that will reach it. It is. It's this division is, when you look at Georgia on the other side, it's not a cakewalk, and it seems like it's improving, but it's still, when you look at Georgia, as much as they've lost from last year, you feel like that it's just all automatic that they're in Atlanta, because it's like a taking candy from a baby. When you look at the SEC West, you feel very confident that Alabama will be there, but it's a lot bumpier of a road. And I know Roman Harper had the comments earlier, but guys, you look at that swing of going to Arkansas, physical football team. You're going to have to get nasty in the trenches to beat Sam Pittman's team. You're going to come back here. You're going to be emotionally spent against Texas A&M. And then you got to go 7 days later. You got to go to Neyland Stadium, and we'll see where their win total is. If Hooker can get them to where they want to be when you look at win total and Josh Heupel. So when you, and I know Tennessee's in the SEC East, but just combining that with Texas A&M and Arkansas, that's a pretty hard 3-game stretch right there. On the road, back at home, on the road again for the Tide.
Well, it'll be a free-for-all Friday on the game, Ryan. We appreciate it, and have a great show later today. And always enjoy your insights here on Talkin' Ball.
Hey, no doubt. And, hey, I got a special friend that's a military guy that listened to you guys out in Idaho this morning.
Oh, nice.
So, he happened to be dialing in with you guys, and was in the Air Force ROTC at the University of Alabama. But no doubt, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that community up there, man. You guys are military, pro-military, and support the military, and certainly we're appreciative of all what they do. for our outstanding country. Scott and Drew, you guys have an awesome rest of your morning, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ryan.
All right, Ryan Fowler with us there on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Some good stuff there. Alabama back on the practice fields. And who knows? Maybe nobody outside of the West, outside of Alabama, gets to 10 wins.
Maybe they don't.
Maybe nobody does.
Mm-hmm. I guess we're trending on Ag Sports Radio. At least Ryan is. And I don't know. I don't care if they've heard me call him Dirt Neck or not. I could care less.
So
I respect the hell out of Olin and Billy Lucci, but I don't respect Dirt Neck, and I never will.
I've been trying to find a true definition for Dirt Neck.
Right.
Okay. One of the meanings that comes up with is this is a military slang for that guy who refuses to shower unless threatened with violence. Okay. A person who is always out and about getting dirt, racing dirt bikes or running races. You also get dirt on your neck when you're outside doing things.
Right.
It is a dirt ball, but is also a hick.
Hey, that would describe Jimbo Moron, I think.
So anyway, that is some of the meanings that I've also come up with for Dirt Neck. So anyway, we got to get a break in.
Vince coming up next.
Vince for our Tennessee talk.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
The world champs are back. The Braves are out to defend their world championship. And behind Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna, Dansby Swanson, Max Fried, and this loaded 2022 roster, a repeat is within reach.
There goes Ozzie, 2-2 on the way, hit well. Deep center field. Might have ourselves a tie ball game. You betcha.
And we'll bring you every huge moment of the Braves 2022 season right here on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. You know, you'll hear people say we're like a family, but here at the Lackey Law Firm, that's really true, not just a saying.
I'm Justin Lackey. With my father and my sister, we have a special connection to each other.
I'm Jennifer Lackey. At the Lackey Law Firm, when we take on your case, you become part of our family. You really do.
And we'll always do whatever it takes to get everything you deserve.
If you're injured, you worry about getting well, not about paperwork or insurance companies or figuring out how to get to your lawyer's office. I'll come to you.
We worry about your case so you don't have to.
When you've been injured, we know that your case is probably the biggest thing going on in your life. More important than almost anything else.
And it's important to us too, for one simple reason. Family takes care of each other, and at the Lackey Law Firm, we'll take care of you.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
DQ presents... Picture this. Picture the burger of your dreams. It's on the new DQ Signature Stack Burgers menu. A lineup of 5 premium burgers like the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger and Loaded A1 Signature Stack Burger with 100% seasoned real beef patties, melty cheese, and a combo of top-notch toppings and sauces galore. This dream burger is calling your name. But it isn't a dream. You're ordering at the DQ drive-thru. Hello. The DQ Signature Stack Burgers lineup. Try it today. DQ. Happy tastes good.
When our lives were interrupted, Madison Academy immediately began distance learning instruction thanks to our Apple device program and a well-prepared faculty.
When our success in athletics led to a new competitive balance rule, Madison Academy was prepared to face the new challenges head-on.
We understand a thing or two about winning, and it always begins with preparation. Learn how our balanced approach to learning prepares the mind, body, and soul. Visit our website at macademy.org to learn more. Strong minds, strong faith, that's Madison Academy.
Progressive presents Don't Do It Yourself.
Okay, fixing a water heater. Easy peasy.
Oh, yeah? So you know how to secure the skiff joint?
Yeah.
Detach the steam pump?
Takes 2 seconds.
And fasten the double to the pressure tube?
Yeah, my dad taught me how to do that.
Oh, that's interesting, because I made all those things up. Look, we should just bundle our home and auto with Progressive. We could save big, then pay someone to do it for us.
That's cool. This double's the wrong size anyway.
Save when bundling home and auto with Progressive and use the money to, not do it yourself. Coverage from Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Bundle discount not available in all states or situations.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
What can you expect when you shop for a firearm at Bullet & Barrel? Expect great prices. We specialize in quality over quantity. Expect great service. Our professional sales staff is never pushy. We won't talk you into something that doesn't fit your needs. You have the right to make a smart, informed decision. Expect Bullet & Barrel, Alabama's only 5-star indoor shooting range, to support you after the sale. Bullet & Barrel, 3252 Lehman Ferry Road. Like or follow us on Facebook. Come see us soon.
This is Chuck Oliver. Listen to me coming up at noon today. Now, back to Talkin' Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN Zone. It has been a fantastic Friday show. If we're going to go out on the weekend, we're going to go out on a bang. Because, why not, right? If we're going to leave them wanting more, we're going to leave them wanting more. In fact, at some point tomorrow, we're going to give them more from University Kia. I just got to look at the schedule. It's going to be, I think the Braves play tomorrow at noon. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a 10 to noon show.
Yeah, probably a 10 to noon show. So we'll be at University Kia tomorrow from 10 to 12, but we're going to give them more because, this Friday show has just been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun, and we're going to catch up with our next guest. He's a big part of course, Sports Radio WNML, the sports animal in Knoxville, Tennessee, and he's been busy. He's finally getting an off day today, but the Tennessee Vols have opened fall camp, and they've been able to hear from both coordinators, the head coach, and get a chance to talk to some players, shoot some video of practice, and that's Vince Ferrara. Vince, what's going on, man? I know it's been a whirlwind start for you, but welcome back to the show.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Always great to be on with you. Hope you guys are doing well. And Scott, when you were talking about leave them wanting more, I knew you weren't segueing to me. I knew you had something else before you tossed to me. But great to be on with you guys.
It is good, Vince. We've been having fun the past 2 days, and I want to ask you this because yesterday we were talking about this, and we just were talking about it in the segment before. When you look at the SEC, especially the West, we all predict Alabama, but before we get to Tennessee talk, but we all think Alabama is going to hit the double-digit win mark again this year. But is there anybody else in the West that you could sit here and say right now, not win the West, but put 10 wins together in the regular season?
You know what? It's a great question. I think a little bit. Obviously Texas A&M has the talent to, but I think maybe they might be oversold just a little bit. I think LSU might be undersold just a little bit. And LSU has thinner ice that they're dealing with, too. They're not very deep. But I think the Brian Kelly influence and stabilization will help them. And they have some pretty good options at quarterback. The team I would like to say is Arkansas, but then their schedule is so tough. I think that limits you there. It's a great debate because the teams that you like have such a tough road. They all do, but they're going to knock each other off. And it's not like the East is full of a bunch of pushovers or back where the way it was when Missouri was winning it, where everybody was notching wins on that division. There's not as many gimmies there. South Carolina's improved. Tennessee's improved. Kentucky's not historically what you think of them. So I think that there's going to be more losses than maybe the quality of those teams. But to 10 wins, I would say still probably A&M might be the best candidate. But I don't think A&M's a national championship contender. So I kind of see a little gap there between Alabama and everybody else.
Well, and here's my situation with the East. I think Georgia's the runaway favorite. I'm not as sold on Tennessee just simply because defensively I need to see some more progress. I know offensively they should be good. I think they're going to be even better with the run game led by Jabari Small. But the thing is, the one thing that makes me hesitate is everybody's seen a year of the film of this offense, but yet it was still very productive. Hendon Hooker was, I thought, you could have argued he and Jamison Williams were the newcomers of the year in the SEC, and really I thought Hendon Hooker saved the Vols season. Now, it's very crucial, though, that he stay healthy because I just don't see it with Joe Milton. I think he's a great athlete. I think he has great arm talent, but there's just something missing there that Hendon Hooker brings to the table that he does not.
Well, I think there would be a drop-off from Hooker to Milton if Hooker was to get hurt. And Hooker has been, not only did he save last season, he's been a program changer for them.
Right.
Because it gives them hope. It buys them time until they're able to get the next highly recruited quarterback ready to go, and maybe Taven Jackson first, and then Nico Iamaleava may skip over him to Nico. And Taven Jackson's been impressive as a true freshman, but he's not seeing the field over Milton or Hooker. The thing about Milton is, man, when you watch him in practice, not every throw is perfect, but my goodness, that arm talent that he has, and we kind of saw it in practice. He won the job last year based on how he looked in practice, and I guess his potential too coming into the program. But that's the thing, is he and Hendon Hooker have been in the system another year. Now Milton doesn't have the pressure of being the guy. He has a great connection with Hendon Hooker. So Hooker now being the guy gets to influence everybody, including Joe Milton. So I think Joe Milton will be better if he has to come in. Is he better than Hendon Hooker? No, but he'll be better than missing some of those deep throws that he did that could have changed the first couple of games last season and maybe not cost him his job once he got hurt in the Pitt game and Hooker came in and played well. So I think that's the dynamic there. Overall, in what you talked about, I think the offense with the speed they have added this year, Squirrel White, my goodness, the true freshman kid from Alabama.
Yeah, Clay Chalkville.
Different level of speed than we've seen at UT. I mean, the way this guy separates from people, and he's got the juke moves too, not just straight line speed, but lateral shiftiness and quickness too. Man, and when the coaches are trying to hold themselves back from over gushing about him, the reaction from teammates about how fast and special and tough he is, I think you're going to see him make an impact in this league quick. And in the return game where they lost Velus Jones, one of the more accomplished returners in college football, I think they're getting more answers on the offensive line. And I think with the running backs, they have the two true freshmen losing Laneith Whitehead. Now the two true freshmen have more of a role, and they're both really impressive, including Dylan Sampson, who set Eddie Lacy's state of Louisiana career rushing record, and he's a true freshman. Coaches have really complimented him, and he was running second team already in one of the drills that they let us see on Monday, I think it was. So I think there's some really good signs on this team. Yes, the defense has answers, but has questions still. But I think there's been a few positives we've seen in camp on that side of the ball as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, overall, though, your impressions, Tennessee has gotten that early start because they play earlier than everyone else on a Thursday night. But so far, your thoughts and impressions from that first full week of Tennessee camp?
I think it's been good. It's been really positive. I think that Tennessee had some nice momentum coming out of media days, and I know some people might roll their eyes at that. But what I mean by that is I think Tennessee did a good job there. They didn't add any extra controversy or misspeak or anything like that, add bulletin board material necessarily for anyone else for their future games. I think the rest of the league leading up to Tennessee was very complimentary about them overall. and including players and coaches, which probably matters the most. And then they have, and obviously the NCAA stuff came out, but I don't think they're going to get any extra significant penalties from that, as we talked about last week. And I think they knew what was going on. They've been addressing that in recruiting. So that really hasn't been any sort of setback, detriment, distraction, any of that kind of stuff. And then we've heard a lot of really good things. Guys, we've had UT, you got to give UT credit, especially compared to the rest of this league. I haven't counted everybody, but UT has made a ton of players and coaches available to the media. We've had 31 interviews in the last 5 days.
Wow.
We had a full media day where we talked to the head coach, both of the coordinators, and 9 players. Then we've had a coach every single day after practice, including Heupel again. And now we're going through the entire staff where everybody on the staff will talk, plus they give us 3 to 4 players after the coach. So every day it's viewing periods plus a ton of interviews. So 31 interviews, 26 of those on video, 4 practice highlights, 991thesportsanimal.com if anyone wants to scout Tennessee. But that's been a lot of content and hearing from a lot of different guys and how things are going, how they've developed and improved. I think a couple of things that are encouraging the most is the pass rush with Byron Young, Tyler Barron. When the coaches are talking about Byron Young and Jeremy Banks at Mike linebacker, that they could be one of the best players in the SEC, if not the country. That's how much progress they've made. Byron Young sounds like a completely different guy. He looks explosive, but he has matured. He's a leader now. Tyler Barron is more invested than he has been, and finally is taking Rodney Garner's coaching, which at times rubs some guys the wrong way because he gets on your backside, man. You got to be tough and realize it's not personal. And he's been coaching this league for a long time. So I think there's a lot of guys that have improved. And here's the thing: talk is one thing, but we get to see them, and I think a lot of guys do look like they've transformed their bodies and look more explosive. I think there's more athleticism and speed on this team. I'm not saying they're on Alabama's level or Georgia's level. They got a way to go to get to that. But I'm talking about from last year and from what we saw in the Jeremy Pruitt era, where you had a lot of bigger, slower guys. That's changing, I think, on both sides of the ball. Some of those are going to take a year or two to fully get to SEC high level, but guys are improving, and I think that speaks to what they got going on in there.
Mm-hmm. And then, Vince, I've got to ask you, we talked with you, as before fall camp and right after SEC Media Days, and I didn't get a chance to ask you about this. And and this is a baseball question because you're heavily involved with that. But I've got to ask about a kid from our community. What's been the reaction of Tony Vitello, the Tennessee Vol fans? I mean, we're very excited for his opportunity. But he had a great 3-year career there. But Jordan Beck going to the Colorado Rockies and being drafted 38th overall.
Well, I think fans are happy for him. I think maybe a little disappointed that they thought that maybe he could go because some mocks had him as high as 10 to the Colorado Rockies, interestingly enough. So I think fans were kind of hoping he'd go a little bit early, but they're still happy for him. And I think it's a great spot. The Rockies wanted him for clearly during the entire process. And so they're happy for him. But then, Tennessee's never had this many players drafted. They got into double digits, and that's never happened before. I mean, their max was 8 when the draft was 50 rounds. They had, I think it was 12. They had 12 before the end of round 7. Or no, I think it was 10 before the end of round 7. So, it's a completely different deal for them, and so I think fans, even though they're happy for Jordan, I think because so many guys were taken, they ended up looking at the totality of it because we haven't seen that. It's exciting for fans to now eventually get to see young players from Tennessee, coached by Tony Vitello, in the big leagues because it's been kind of few and far between. It's been, as you guys know, dry for a while. And then you add the transfer portal, which has been really active for Tennessee, including Zane Denton, who was manning third base for Alabama. Amaya Una, shortstop from Kansas, who is pretty special. So there's been a lot going on from a baseball standpoint since the end of the year.
Oh, there really has, and there's tons going on in football. We know you've been all over it for the Sports Animal. Let everybody know how to continue to follow your coverage, because I know you're getting a little bit of a respite, but it's going to be back to the grind.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. practices, we'll get a couple of viewing periods, so we'll be back there after today's day off. But the team is off as well. And then I think they'll have their first scrimmage on Tuesday. Not holding my breath that we're going to get to see any of that. In fact, I'm very confident we won't. But we'll hear them talk about it at the very least. But, yeah, you can follow me on Twitter at Vince Sports, VINCE Sports, the station on all the socials where we're just pounding all of our coverage, videos, podcasts, blogs, all that. Jimmy Himes doing a bunch of coverage for us as well. 991thesportsanimal.com, and on all our social media accounts, Sports Animal 991, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and our YouTube channel you can subscribe to as well.
Yeah, thank you, Vince.
Thanks, Vince.
Appreciate it, guys. Have a great weekend.
Vince Ferrara there helping us out, and it's just fun to keep asking that question on the 10 wins. He thinks Arkansas has a chance to
I remember Jake Crane said that too. He felt like,
it's just interesting because it's such a toss-up that's how hard it was to try to pick who could be second in the West when we were picking the media poll. Because it could be Arkansas could go on a run, but their schedule's brutal. Their stretch there that they have is really tough. Brian Kelly and LSU could surprise somebody. Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher, despite everything that you have against them, they could put it together, maybe, and be that. It's just interesting.
Well, I know we're going to kind of tease here, but when we come back, one of our great listeners, Brandon, speaking of helping us out, he has defined dirt neck, and we'll tell you what his definition of that is when we come back with tomorrow's headlines today.
We got your rest of your show coming up here next.
You're listening to Talkin' Ball on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
McCurry Motors is your car and van rental headquarters. You can rent the vehicle you need today. Family in town, sporting event, church function, no matter what your need, McCurry Motors has you covered with a wide selection of cars and vans available for rent. They have 12-passenger Mercedes Sprinter vans, 12-passenger Ford Transit vans, 15-passenger Ford Transit vans, and 15-passenger Chevrolet Express vans. They have 2 locations, Highway 72 in Athens or Max Luther Drive in Huntsville.
If you're ready to lower your utility bills, it's time to call Eagle Insulation. Eagle can handle it all. Attic re-insulation, insulation removal, wall insulation, and new construction insulation, commercial and residential. Our primary goal is to save you money, and lots of it. Typical clients realize their return on investment within 3 to 6 months. That means the re-insulation actually pays for itself and then some. See if we can help you. Contact Eagle Insulation today, 256-755-1556, or log on insulatewitheagle.com.
AVIQ. Who is AVIQ? AVIQ is audiovisual the intelligent way, where we put our IQ to work for your AV needs. With more than 100 years combined experience in audio, video, and automation, our team of experts is dedicated to one thing, helping you discover technological solutions that make your home special. Once you experience a game or a movie on one of our state-of-the-art home theater systems, you may never leave the house again. AVIQ can build the entire system for you or provide the quality components if you're a do-it-yourselfer. But AVIQ is more than just home theater and state-of-the-art sound systems. We offer a variety of control options for home technology. Energy efficiency, heightened security, and improved quality of life are all attainable through the automation of home systems. Intuitive and user-friendly control is our main priority in designing a system that meets your needs. Don't just take our word for it. You need to see it to believe it. Come visit us at our state-of-the-art showroom on University, just east of Jim and Nick's, across from AT&T, or visit aviqhsv.com.
Hi, my name is Dan Aldridge. I'm here to let you know about the Aldridge Law Firm and the soon-to-be-announced Legal Town Center. I've been practicing law in Alabama since 1984, and I also practice in Tennessee. And I'm from North Alabama, and I'm here to represent you and take care of your legal needs. For many of us, hiring an attorney is not high on the priority list, and maybe a little scary. but it's something that we all need at some point. So by all means, do your homework. And if you need representation for car accident, wrongful death, medical malpractice, nursing home abuse, or estate planning, or any other matter, just give us a call at 256-534-3188, and you can email me at Dan, that is Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. Dan at danaldridgelaw.com. God bless America.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Listen to the Tom Abraham Show.
And he loves fishing.
I hadn't called in during your show lately, but just wanted to say hi. It's just amazing. It's great people y'all have and the great personalities in all the towns. And we're lucky in this area to have you guys.
Listen to the Big Dog, weekdays from 10 to noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This time of year, it's hot. But with Brooks & Collier, you can be outside and comfortable. That's why Brooks & Collier has deep discounts on a large selection of patio umbrellas, furniture, and grills. With these patio umbrellas, you're sure to have a nice, shaded spot to relax. Lucy knows the best spot is a shaded spot. So if you're looking to spruce up your backyard and make it more comfortable, visit North Alabama's indoor and outdoor living headquarters for over 75 years. 813 Meridian Street and at brooksandcollier.com.
The Trash Pandas are back and better than ever. Single game tickets for the 2022 Trash Pandas season are on sale now. This season's promotions include all new giveaway items, specialty jerseys, holiday games, and fireworks all season long. Reserve your seat now while you still can at trashpandasbaseball.com. Let's rock it.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Touchdown, Alabama! Nolan pass inside, but he got to go to play.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN The Zone. This segment of Talkin' Ball is brought to you by University Kia, the #1 volume Kia dealer in the state of Alabama. Located online at universitykia.com. It's time for tomorrow's headlines today with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi, welcome back. Talking Ball, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. And it has been such fun. It has been a great morning, and ESPN The Ocho helping provide some of that entertainment. It's just been kind of fun to watch what sports they are throwing at us, literally throwing at us. We just got done with knife throwing, and now we are back to the World Axe Throwing League Commissioner's Cup Invitational. So we're now back to axe throwing. We have seen kickball. We have seen paper airplane throwing. We have seen all kinds of good stuff this morning here on the Ocho. So it's been kind of fun to watch. It's kept us entertained during the commercial breaks, to say the least.
Yeah, and of course Brandon's kept us entertained too. So with his,
I don't know,
with his definition of dirt neck. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know where he found it, but certainly he did find that.
I think he created this on his own.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting interpretation, certainly, no doubt about that. And Brandon, a great listener of ours, if he put it, dirt neck is a person that gets dirt on the back of their neck when they throw dirt over their shoulder with a shovel, trying to bury skeletons and hide evidence.
Yeah, that's yeah.
I would put that in the Druinary.
For your definition of dirt neck.
Yeah, and we've obviously got Ryan Fowler trending on Texags Radio with our good friend Dolan Buchanan, Billy Lucci, and all those guys. So they obviously are probably a little testy with somebody questioning the ethics of a liar.
But what are they going to say? I mean, what? Okay, so if this is Texas A&M, are they going to flip the script and say, well, Alabama's using collectives to get this number one class that they have now?
I mean, I wouldn't think so. I mean, I don't think Nick Saban's been pretty outspoken about the fact that, and they're not paying up front, and I don't think they are. And so Nick Saban's got 9 number one recruiting classes in 15 years, so he's kind of used to doing it. I mean, it's not exactly an accident.
All right, 256-576-4977. I'm just having fun there. All right, let's get back to the phone lines. Wolverine Dan with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning, Dan.
Good morning, gentlemen. I was wondering, I thought there was something wrong with my TV, but I kept noticing, like Joe Biden had dirt on it behind his neck, and his son had it too. I was wondering why, but now I know why.
Well, problem is, 1,000 words a minute probably voted for him too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, it doesn't help when you pull up a suitcase from underneath the table with a cloth over it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
with
that said, a couple things. First off, Drew, I know you got a calendar, and Scott, you do too, and that probably in your studio. How many days left until they kick off that football?
I mean, for Alabama, it's I believe it's now it's officially 30 days. I think.
Yeah, they play September 3rd.
Nice.
There are what they call the Week 0 games. And there's some decent Week 0 games. I mean, Florida State's going to be in action. There's other.
We talked about Jacksonville State.
Yeah,
Stephen
there's
F.
some
Austin.
good ones, but that's going to be August 27th. So we're 22 days away from the start of the college football season.
As Jake Crane says, Week 0, and why the hell do they call it that?
Yeah, it makes absolutely no sense.
Well, I'm excited because my Wolverine Shangri-La is almost completed. The 65-inch is going in now. So, oh, yeah. It's about to go down. I'm excited. I don't have to work now, so I can sit there.
There you go.
Oh, God. I can go between SEC games and my Michigan games, and I don't even know I'd ever want to watch Ohio State. But the reason why I really did call it kind of concerned me. I'm not a Bama fan. We all know that, okay? But again, I've always said I love being here. I love the state. I love the people. I love everything about it. Now, with that said, I have a soft heart for announcers. I lost one a long time ago, Ernie Harwell, if you know who that was.
Oh, yeah.
He was really, really good. He's one of the great, and Vince Scully just passing, but Ernie Harwell is stuck with me, and then Bob Ufer for Michigan, that was tough too. But give me a little heads up on. I'm concerned because he's been with the Patriots all his years. How's he doing? Gold.
He's he's still going through his medical situation, no doubt. It's I think a slow recovery. We're thoughts and prayers out to Eli, but we'll see if he can get healthy and come back and take his seat behind the mic again for Alabama football. But right now, still going through that medical situation.
All right, that's going to do it for our 2 hours of Talking Ball here at 97.7 ESPN The Zone. We'll be back at it tomorrow, special Saturday edition from University Kia. Big thanks, Ryan Fowler, Vince Ferrara. We brought it home on a Friday. We're going to seriously look at getting those T-shirts.
Yeah.
We'll figure out a way, somehow, some way.
Richard wanted 3 of them, including to send one to Nick Saban.
I don't think he'll wear it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he can frame it.
He could. That would be great.
Listen to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve.
Called. The Blitz has been called.
Easton on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Hi, y'all. ESPN's Marty Smith here. Get ready because the Ocho is back. Join me live from the seldom-known sports capital of the world, Rock Hill, South Carolina. Witness the graceful grappling of the slippery stairs, the daring danglers of death diving, and the show-stopping shredders of air guitar. Plus, we got all new overlooked sports all around the world. Don't miss ESPN 8, the Ocho, all day today on ESPN 2.
Bart and Hahn.
And you gotta ask this dude to study? Come on, is this like study table at college? when the players that could barely stay eligible had to have people help them with their homework?
Weekdays at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN Plus.
How do you make the most of your land? If you ask the Wrens, who run with us on a John Deere mower, they tell you,
I mow first, then I do all the trimming.
But the Hubbards, who work behind the wheel of a John Deere compact tractor, would say,
if it's something you want, just go after it and try it.
Then there's the Mosers, who may mention from the seat of their John Deere Gator UTV,
you can't be all work and not play.